What's up, YouTube? This is your girl MerryJane. Kind of bored today, so I'm just gonna do a vlog, talk about gas prices, why they're so freaking high. Okay, so I'm in school and I had to write a paper, so I chose alternative forms of transportation. The reason I chose this topic was because a while back I bought a 2002 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. I like the car. I love Cherokees. I have always wanted a Cherokee. I had to have one. But I did not think about the effects that it had on my wallet and the environment when I bought it. Did not think that one through. So basically now I'm stuck paying $4 a gallon for gas. And I'm killing people. Yeah, we're gonna get into all that later. In the beginning of this paper, I'm just basically talking about possible reasons why gas prices are so high. And my first reason is because of the American dollar's worth. Back in the day, the American dollar was the most powerful currency in the world, and it's just going down day by day. The most important thing right now is the Swiss franc and the euro. Now, I'm just gonna read this because I don't want to misquote it. Okay, the American dollar used to be the most powerful form of currency, but as U.S. stocks plummet, investors are looking, excuse me, investors are looking to other forms of currency to depend on, such as the euro or Swiss franc. Because of this decline in the US dollar, stocks are now drawn to oil companies. The owners of those stocks are the same people that decide how much the product is going to cost consumers, and since they need a large return on their investment, they drive up the price of gas at the pumps. This price gouging not only hurts the consumer's wallet, but since people are running to the pump to fill up more often, it also adds to the amount of pollution emitted into the air. And that's basically what the whole meat of this project is about. I'm talking about pollution. Because really, when you think about it, it's not about the money, $4 a gallon, whatever. It's more about the carbon monoxide, the carbon dioxide, the nitrogen oxides, and the hydrocarbons that we are emitting into our ozone layer. And the first thing you think about when you think about other ways of getting around besides cars is public transportation, buses and trains. You may think that buses and trains give off more emissions and use up more gas than cars, but they actually don't. And I will prove it to you. Let me see. The fuel efficiency of a fully occupied bus is 6 times greater than that of an automobile, and the fuel efficiency of a fully occupied rail car is 15 times greater. And as far as pollutants go, in one trip, a car occupied by one person will emit 5 times more carbon monoxide than a fully occupied bus, and 750 times more carbon monoxide than what a fully occupied rail car would. Now, about carbon monoxide, a lot of people don't know it's a gas. It's poisonous gas, and too much of it would cause slow reflexes, impaired thinking, drowsiness, and it'll take the place of oxygen in the bloodstream and eventually cause death. So when you think about it, you're driving these cars around, you're killing people. It's not fair. And carbon dioxide is emitted the most from automobiles, and as much as 300 to 400 pounds of this poisonous gas is produced by burning just one tank of gasoline. Now you don't went to the stove, you didn't have but $3.40. You put that 1 gallon of gas in your tank, you done killed 3 people. What you got to say? Basically, this is just craziness. We don't have to depend on gasoline, people. We really don't. I'm gonna get into that later. First, I'm gonna talk about some of the other forms, alternative forms of transportation besides public transportation. If you don't want to get on the bus, that's your business. Why don't you invest in a hybrid or an electric car? Now, hybrids, most of them still have a gas tank. You don't have to put as much gas in it. Like, um, there's one made by Phoenix, I think. By Phoenix is a PHEV. I call it a PHEV, and it stands for plug-in electric vehicle. And it has a fuel cell, or battery. You plug the car in overnight. You put a little bit of gas in it when you want to go. You got 100 miles to the gallon. Now, granted, you're still going to the pump. You're still using your money, and you're still emitting all those CO2 and carbon monoxide gases into the air. But you took one step. You did something better than what you're doing now. The next step from that is electric vehicle, period. Also called an EV. I call it an F. Now those don't use any kind of gasoline at all. The fuel is the fuel cell. It's the battery. You plug the car up overnight, you can ride forever how long the battery lasts. You're not giving out any emissions into the atmosphere. You're not hurting your wallet. It's safe. Now granted, those cars cost a whole heck of a lot more than what a regular car would at a car lot. But that's an investment that we may need to start thinking about. And I also did a paper with my team on the same topic about cars that use other forms of fuel, and there were some cars that use biofuels and tri-fuels, and they were all composed of bioethanol and methanol and ethanol and all that stuff. I don't have too much information on that. Maybe that'll be my next project to really find out if that stuff works. Now I know there are cars that run on water. Haven't looked in any case studies to see if it actually works or anything. And there are the ethanol cars. And as a matter of fact, in California, they in some places in California they have to use ethanol because the state passed a law that says that cars can't run around with gasoline. Well, gasoline cannot can contain some substance. Let me see where it is. In some states, ethanol has replaced gasoline because it is made from plants. It's clean burning and it contains high amounts of octane. You can't drive something that is coming from plants because then what are we gonna eat? Well, anyway, that's what's going on in California. Using up your corn to run your. Now you can go to the store, but you can't buy nothing because all the food in your tank. But anyway, let me see. Okay, now we just went over this whole thing about buying a FEV or an F, and we didn't talk about the price. I mean, of course, it's going to cost more because it's in lower demand than regular cars. Not that many of them, so they need to make the money. But I have done the math on this, and I found out that in my case, it would be cheaper for me to get an electric vehicle. Now, the money it took me to save up to buy the Cherokee, and the money it would take me to save up to buy an electric vehicle, I'm not even worried about. That's money, whatever. That's going to protect my future. That's going to protect the future of my kids one day, if I have them. That's going to protect the future of a lot of people because they don't have to worry. That's one less person that's giving off emissions and carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide into the atmosphere. So in my case, of course I own a 2002 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. Don't know why I did that, but um, it would hold about 15 gallons. I'm just making something up for the paper. I'm sure it holds a lot more than that. This is just for the paper, just for right now. Let's say that the Cherokee holds 15 gallons. And where I'm at right now, it's $3.40 per gallon of gas. So it would take approximately $51 to fill up my car. Now, if I go back to the pump once a week to fill up my car, it'll cost $2,652 just to keep my car full of gas for 1 year. Now, as far as this electric vehicle goes, now of course you have to pay for the battery. The first battery you get free, duh. The batteries last about 3 to 5 years. We're going to use 3 just for this analysis. And every replacement is $2,000. So that's $2,000 every 3 years, compared to the $2,652 worth of gas in my Cherokee for 1 year. So I'm already saving money. Like I said, the money to buy the car, I'm not even worried about that. It's not about the money, people. And that's what I wanted to basically talk about. It's not about the money at the pump. Who cares if it's $4